What is going on, guys? Kenny here from 619 Guitars and Gear, and today we are going to dive in and check out the Ibanez GIO GRG121SP, and I'll tell you why I think this guitar is one of the best in its price range. So as always, let's get into it. Alright, well, welcome back to another review video. I know I say this a lot, but I am really excited about this one. It's probably my favorite guitar that I have reviewed this year yet. And yeah, I've had other GRGs on the channel before. I've had the 131DX, which was the white and red one, and I really liked that guitar. So as soon as I saw this and saw the specs that this thing came with, I knew I had to grab it. So let's go ahead and just jump right in here. So you'll notice I really don't even need to address it. This amazing paint job. They call it Blue Metal Chameleon. It is like a sparkly blue to purple color shift. It is going to be super hard to get it on camera, but I'll do the best I can. It's absolutely gorgeous. Probably one of the nicest paint jobs I've seen on a guitar, let alone one that costs $300. So I think that is absolutely amazing. You have a solid poplar body. You have a bolt-on roasted maple neck, which is another feature that I think is absolutely awesome. You're starting to see roasted maple necks pop up on more affordable guitars, so that is always a really good thing. You have a Jatoba fretboard, which only way to describe it is it's almost like a rosewood, but it has more of a brownish tint to it. But looks wise, it's very similar to rosewood. You have 25.5 inch scale, 24 medium nickel frets. We have a 400 millimeter radius, which is pretty much like a 15.74 inch radius. So we'll just call it a 16 inch radius. Super comfortable. For the neck shape, you have what they call the GRG neck, and it's kind of similar to like the AZ neck, but not as round, not as comfortable as the AZ neck. I really love the AZ neck, but it's really comfortable. We'll do some measurements here at the nut. Width-wise, we are 43 millimeters. At the 24th fret, you are at 58 millimeters. Thickness-wise, at the first fret, you are at 19.5 millimeters. And at the 12th, you are at 21.5 millimeters. So a really comfortable neck. I really like it. You have a dual action truss rod. You have your signature Ibanez truss rod cover that flips open, and obviously everyone loves that because you don't have to take any screws out to adjust your truss rod, because you can just flip it open with your finger or a pick or whatever you have here. Nut wise, it looks like it could be a graphite nut, but I believe it is plastic, but it's cut really well, so no complaints there. Up at the headstock here, we have what seemed to be a Godot style tuner. They're probably just self-branded tuners in chrome. No complaints about them. It seems to hold tuning really well. Let's move up here to the pickups. You have the classic Elite humbuckers from Ibanez. They sound really good. I have no complaints there, which you'll hear later. You have one volume, one tone, a 5-way switch, and a rather unique output jack, which I want to open up and see what is going on, because I've never really seen anything like it. For the bridge, you have a string-through designed fixed bridge, which looks nice and set up well. Almost looks like it has a radius to it from the factory, but we're going to take all those measurements and see exactly how this thing came set up. And yeah, you see your typical regular pearl inlay dots, your regular white side dots. So yeah, a lot of similar features on other GRGs, but with the roasted maple neck and this absolutely awesome paint job, it's kind of hard to beat, and it's almost like a no-brainer when you see the cost of this guitar. But let's go ahead and put this thing on the bench. I really want to take some measurements. I want to put the pickups into a meter and just see exactly what is going on with this thing. All right, let's start off with checking the relief in the neck. All right, let's see here. So it looks like the neck is pretty much dead straight, which is good. I usually play with a little bit of relief, so that probably will get changed. But from the factory, the relief is pretty much dead on straight. All right, let's go ahead and check the action using my Music Nomad action gauge here, pushing down the strings on the first fret, starting in millimeters. So we're just above 1.5, so we're about 1.6 on the low E, and it seems pretty consistent all the way through. So almost where I play, I usually set about 1.5 depending on the guitar. So that's really not horrible. Let's try inch to side. Yeah, just above 0.06. So from the factory, action is not horrible. All right, so we got the back cavity cover pulled off, and right away I'm noticing there seems to be a lot going on. Something that's catching my eye is with other guitars, you know, the pickup wires would all be, you know, in one sleeve coming out of the pickup. It almost looks like there's individual wires without the single sleeve, and they're using a heavier gauge wire. Kind of different from what I'm used to seeing, but hey, I guess they got their own way of doing things. You can see there's miniature pots which seem to be 500K, and they're using their typical Ibanez switch system that has the circuit board on it. Now, I did watch Philip McKnight's video on this guitar, and he was saying how the shielding paint looked kind of rough. I'm noticing the same thing on mine, where there's a lot of spots you can see the blue paint through the shielding paint. I almost kind of want to grab my meter like he did and test it and make sure it's, conductive and doing its job. So let's grab the meter real quick. All right, so we got the meter on. I'm going to go ahead and touch 2 different points on the shielding paint. I never really thought of this until I watched Phil McKnight's video. Obviously that guy is great and he's a professional, so you learn a lot. And yeah, so let's see. So it looks like we've got some kind of number reading there. So it looks to be as if it is conductive. So as sketchy as it looks, obviously it doesn't matter because it is hidden, but it looks like it's at least doing its job. All right, so one thing I said I wanted to do was check out this output jack because it is rather unique looking. I've never really seen one like it, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out this last screw so we can check it out, see what's going on. All right, let's see here. And yeah, so it all looks molded in one piece. What's cool is it looks like there is a extra prong here, so if you want to do like active pickups and you need that extra wire going to the output jack, you can do that, so that's good. I'm noticing the hole is rather small, so to replace it with like a regular output jack might be a little hard, but I guess they thought of, in case you wanted to upgrade the pickups and put some actives in here, you do have, you could use the stock output jack. So that is a good thing. Definitely a weird looking jack for sure. All right, so we got the meter plugged in. We're going to check the output of the pickups. I'm pretty curious because they do call them like the classic elites, so I'm wondering if they're going to be a little less hot or mediocre or what. So we're going to start at the bridge pickup here. And we're at about 12.66, and let's go to the neck, around 9.64, so not too bad. Let's go ahead and plug this thing in so you guys can hear what it's all about. All right, so we'll start with distortion first. We'll go through all the pickup positions. We'll start at the bridge pickup, and I am using the ML Sound Labs Icon Amp Sim. All right, so we'll do clean now. I made a little clean channel that has a light reverb, and we'll start at the bridge pickup. All right, well, we basically have gone over everything on this guitar, and yeah, one thing I did not mention is QC. I really have not found anything wrong with this guitar. There's like one little thing that I found, and that is where the fretboard was glued onto the neck. It almost looks like there could be a little tiny gap right here, almost where like the glue didn't squeeze out fully. Is it like look like it's separating or anything? Not at all. It seems solid as could be. It could be taped off and filled in with some CA glue, but it's barely noticeable. And like I said, it's solid. It doesn't seem like there's like any separation or anything. It's just something I've noticed while looking the guitar over. The fret ends feel really, really good. On my other GRG, I did have to address the fret ends just because they were a little sharp. Could these use a little bit of love? Yeah, they definitely could, but they're nothing, by far not the worst I have felt ever. You could feel the fret ends, but they're not like cutting me or stabbing me or anything like that. One thing I noticed definitely is the frets could definitely be polished. They are a little crunchy for sure. But I mean, stuff like that is almost to be expected on a guitar in this price range. But you know, I mentioned that I think this guitar is one of the best buys for this price range, and I really think it is. I mean, you're getting an awesome platform here. You have an awesome, beautiful looking guitar. You have a roasted maple neck, and it's just kind of a great platform for any kind of mods. Now, I probably won't do anything to it for a while, but you could totally update the, you know, the nut. You can put some locking tuners on there. You can update the pickups, maybe update the electronics. But it's a great platform. So for $300, you're getting something that comes really, really good. And, you know, you can put a couple bucks into it and make it even better. So you could have a $300 guitar that looks and plays and sounds like, you know, a guitar that costs, you know, maybe $1,000 or over. That's just my opinion. I'm really, really happy with this guitar. The quality of the paint job is awesome. I mean, I don't see any kind of blemishes or anything. There's not one, you know, blemish in the clear coat or anything like that. I just think it's kind of like a no-brainer. I mean, 300 bucks. $300 this thing costs. So, I mean, it's almost like, it's just almost too good to be true in my opinion. You're just getting a great guitar for the price. So, yeah, I really love this thing. definitely keeping this bad boy, and maybe we'll eventually do some mods with it. I do want to make a video on you know, how I go about cleaning up the frets and stuff on a guitar that is kind of in this price range that could, you know, use some attention just to make it play a little bit better. So maybe in the future I'll make a video about that, just polish the frets up, you know, maybe just smooth out the ends a little bit. They don't bother me at all as is, but they could definitely be a little bit smoother. There's always some room to improve in that area. But yeah, I have really no complaints about this thing, so that's a really good thing for a guitar that costs $300. But that pretty much wraps this video on up. I want to thank you so much for watching and sticking through the end of the video, hopefully. And yeah, have a great holiday. They're coming up fast, and hope you get to see your family and friends. But stay safe, be a good person, eat a lot of food during the holidays, and we'll see you in the next video.